This is episode 41 of Sustainable Photography. I'm Ingvild Kolnes, and today we're talking about how you can run a healthy business and also balance that with doing some good. You're listening to Sustainable Photography, where you get support and education to build your profitable business in a way that supports your way of living. I'm Ingvild Kolnes, and after 11 years as a photographer, I want to share what I've learned with you. So if you're looking for confidence, inspiration, and to-the-point tips, keep listening. For full transparency, I also want you to know that I'm a mentor with paid offers, and I might mention some of those in this episode. I know a lot of photographers feel guilty about charging for their services, especially in certain circumstances, like a single mom who wants photos of her children, or a young couple getting married, or a newly started business that needs photos for promotion. You might think that everyone deserves to have their photo taken. I've heard things like, I just want to be the photographer for everyone, or I don't want my prices to be so high that people can't afford it. And those are some lovely thoughts, truly. Like, I completely understand where you're coming from, but you won't get paid by your generosity. So in this episode, I want to encourage you to stop thinking about your business as a charity. Instead, let's come up with some ideas of what you can do to balance your desire to give people photos and also, at the same time, having a healthy, thriving business. First, let's talk mindset. If you think like this, like what I just described, where everyone deserves to have photos and you don't want to be too expensive, just know that you're not alone. I hear about it all the time. That guilt about charging money from others, that you should be working for free to please others, it's probably because that's what we're told all the time. You're asked by your friends to take some photos. Your family kind of guilts you if you're charging what they think is too much. And you meet people who are in a difficult situation, like where they have low income or going through a disease or something like that. And you might feel like it's your job to work for free or cheap to make them happy. But that's most likely putting you in a difficult situation. I want you to keep in mind that all kinds of professionals charge money for their services when someone books them. Your local supermarket charges everyone the same, from rich people to people who are struggling to make ends meet. A divorce lawyer makes a living from people who are going through crisis. A cancer doctor still charges for the appointment where they let someone know that they have terminal cancer. And an electrician still sends out the bill without worrying whether the household they just visited can pay or not. Photography is a luxury service. It's not for everyone. And I want you to stop taking responsibility for other people's finances. If they can't pay what it costs, that's up to them. You shouldn't decide for people that they can or can't pay for your services. If it's important to them, they should prioritize it. And if they don't prioritize it, do you really want to work with them? So those are just some thoughts for you to think about to see how you feel. And I now want to talk a little bit about some ideas where you can still do some of those photo shoots that you want to do because you care without it ruining your business or without it breaking the whole market because there are so many photographers who charge little because they mean well. One idea is to set up a day for mini sessions, like one day a year where you have back-to-back single moms and kids. You charge a low fee and you give them a couple of photos. Of course, you can also have the option of adding on files or prints, but since you do so many in one go, you'll still get paid, but it's more affordable than what you normally do. And at the same time, it doesn't really devalue your normal shoots because you'll decide on the location and the time, and the variety of photos they get will be less. Still, your clients will get those treasured photos and memories. And I was just using single moms as an example. You can add any kind of shoot you want to this idea. whatever it is you are passionate about. Another thing you can do is to give tips on how people can take their own photos. You can create a mini course, you can do a workshop where you teach them how to use their phone, or maybe they already have a camera lying around that they can take their own photos with. That way, you're not devaluing what you do as a photographer, and you're just passing on your knowledge so that it can be used by those that you want to help. Another thing is you can do a giveaway where you have some sorts of requirements and people can apply to sign up, and you choose maybe 1 or 2 winners. That way, again, you're not really devaluing your work as a photographer because you wouldn't do this all the time. And you can also use this as a promotion, but be really careful. Don't do these kind of free shoots or giveaways or model calls all the time, because then you'll be the kind of photographer that just gets followers that sit around and wait for when it's their turn. You don't want that. Another idea is that you can set up a charity or have some sort of a partnership with an existing charity, like an organization that deals with the kinds of things that you are passionate about, whether that's photography for refugees or nonprofits or single moms or low-income families. Whatever you choose to do, you can create awareness around this issue and make sure that it fits well with your brand. Make it clear that it's separate from what your actual paying services are. And it should be completely fine to merge those two things in one, like doing something for charity and something for business. The point of this talk is to remind you that you are running a business. You're not running a charity. There's so much you can do to help people through your business without ruining the market. And I also want you to remember that you should be able to make a living from what you do. Running a successful business is also doing good, because when you make more money, you're able to pay other people what they should get paid. So it's kind of a full circle thing where everybody wins if you dare to charge what you should. And to turn that around, if you don't charge what you should, or if you don't charge at all, everybody loses. It's a controversial topic, I know, but jump on over to the Facebook group if you want to discuss this further. This is, as always, just my opinion, and you're allowed to have your own. Thanks for listening to Sustainable Photography. Head over to Instagram at Ingvild Kolnes to tell me what you want future episodes to be all about. Check out the show notes over at ingvildkolnes.com/podcast. You can learn more about the Sustainable Photography program and sign up for the waitlist there. To get more of this content, make sure you subscribe to the podcast and leave a review. Your support makes all the difference. Talk soon.